What is going on?
Haha! Welcome to the 802 Scoop Weekly Wrap, filmed live here in the Inside Scoop Studios. I made a boo-boo, and some reason it didn't work. I don't know what happened. The audio was turned off. That's not good, Raylene.
I heard music.
You heard music?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Glenn.
Happy New Year.
So we just put in some new cameras, and you want to take a guess what's happening?
They're not working?
Are you excited?
No, not really. Is that why the blue light keeps flashing over here?
Yep.
Yeah. So, why not?
I mean, it's
Are
a
neither
brand
of the
new
ones
year.
over here working?
It's a brand new year, Raylene.
Yeah, with the same shit. Is the other one working?
Mine's working.
Yeah, but neither of these are?
Neither one of those are working.
Perfect.
I know.
That's great.
It is awesome.
All right, we're just going to keep going
I'm not
anyway.
sure what happened. I'm a little disappointed that
I don't know either.
Yeah.
It's flashing blue though.
Hey, you know what? That's good.
So, anyway, let's just keep going.
You want to just keep going?
Yeah, I do, because
Sorry, folks. This is the new year. This is 2025.
yeah,
And this is what we're going to be experiencing
No,
in
we're not.
2025. No?
no, we're not.
We're not gonna
It's
experience
going
this.
to remedy itself, or else. Yeah, because I'm not going to do this.
You're not going to do it.
Of this, no more of this crappiness stuff.
Yeah,
No.
I don't, I think the problem that we have is that we've got to get like good cameras.
Right, I thought we did this time.
Well,
But-
I thought so too, but apparently.
But anyway, let's move away from the camera and get going with what we're supposed to be doing, which is the weekly wrap. And I mean, as you said, it's a new year. A lot has gone on. A lot went on in 2024. And so now here we are in 2025 with lots coming up, lots ahead. We have some new shows coming on, some new people coming on. We have so more podcasts than going to be joining us. Super excited about some of, all of them really, but super excited to have some start really soon. And we'll announce those little bits at a time. There's, as we know, some pretty cool things happening in the city. That we've all heard the news by now that the Barrie Area Development is hopefully going to be successful in their endeavors to get all of the money they need for the purchase of the J.J. Newberry building. And they have gotten the blessing of the council as well as some funds to kick that off the ground. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what can happen in that space. I know it's very controversial. People are, they're either all for it or totally against it. So, but I'm looking forward to it. It's been an eyesore for a really long time, something that we hear people complain about constantly. And what is funny about that is as soon as there's a remedy, it's all wrong. And so you can spend a lifetime complaining about it, but then as soon as somebody wants to do something about it, you get pissed off about that too. Never makes a lot of sense to me, but I think that there are groups of us that have been here for a long time and know what it used to be here, and are really at a point where we desperately want and need that back because things have just been so out of control, especially lately. We know that recently there was an assault and robbery that took place right behind the subway here on Main Street in Barrie. The assailant was caught. He was arrested and charged, where he, of course, pled not guilty, just as everybody does during arraignment. But he was actually held in jail pending some further hearings and checking into some things. So,
And that caused a huge stir online.
yeah.
And just so you know, I ended up going back to the old camera.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that caused a huge stir because people are afraid to walk on the streets of Barrie.
Yeah, I think that it just finally made people come out and voice their opinion. I think that people for a long while have been very afraid to say exactly what they think because they're worried about the repercussions from certain others within our community. I know that, even myself, who's pretty outspoken, has felt like I really needed to be careful what I say, because you become this villain if you say something, because you're looked at like you're looking down your nose at or targeting somebody, and I'm really not. I know there are a lot of really amazing homeless people in this community. There are some that have been homeless for many years and that have lived here that way for many years. It's the what's happening right now. It's more about transients and people coming here and utilizing services that we're allowing them to utilize while they're terrorizing our community, and that's what's really happening. And I actually, over the last several days, since I posted something to my personal page about all of this, and said I'm tired of the bullshit, and I don't want to be known as in the top 5 for crime, drugs, theft, all vandalism, kidnapping, murder, all the things that we've seen going on here in the last year. I want to be known for the beautiful monuments and the quarry holes and maple syrup, and that's what I want to go back to that badly. But I very much got ripped apart over the last few days about this being kind of the melting pot, and that's what, it's full of people from all over. Agreed. There's a difference between a transient and an immigrant. And I, for one, know there are all kinds of, and refugees. There are all kinds of Bosnian refugees here. I'm great friends with several of them. And I'll tell you, there's some of the most hard-working people, some of the kindest, most respectful people I've ever met in my entire life. And they're just as fed up as I am, because they really did flee this kind of hell. And they came here for safety, and we can't provide that to them because we can't even provide it for ourselves right now. And it just, it's at a point where people are really up against a wall. And what I hated most was to see that people felt like they need to take it into their own hands, because that's scary on either side of the coin. I mean, I don't want to see that happen. I don't think that we need to resort to violence, but I also understand the need to feel like you need to protect yourself. Wilkins with Freddie LePan, Valaris, is doing a self-defense brunch over at Wilkins this weekend on Saturday. And it's a free event, and I intend to go. And I know that a few others intend to go as well. And Lucas John, Granite City MMA, he's offering things, as he always does. I think when the bullying was happening at the schools, he was one of the very first ones to step up to the plate and say, hey, any kid going through this stuff is welcome to come to my gym, and I'll take you under my wing. And I just think that those opportunities are amazing. I don't think that people thought about them as much as we do now. I purchased Mace, and one of those little compressed air horns, you know, the party horns, they're super loud. And you can get them for $5 at Walmart. But I say spray and then blow that sucker while you're running like hell, because that thing's going to let everybody around you within a 50-mile radius probably know that there's something going on. And it's just, those are the means that I chose. Those are the means that I have to choose. But there are other means as well. You know, we have a good friend that carries a little stun gun thingy, a little
Yep.
zapper. And she's, you know, she's been
on.
trying to get her boyfriend to let her try it out, but he won't. She just wants to see if it works or not. And you know, but he's not allowing that. But anyway, you know, we're just at a point where all of that has come into play, and it's really sad. You know, it really is. And I hope we can turn things around with legislature, with maybe even city ordinances, and to have bigger, broader discussions, maybe neighborhood watches again, whatever we can do to start combating this a little bit. I mean, I watched the cameras here at the studio, and just the other night there was some pretty weird stuff going on here.
Yeah, no, I
And,
saw it.
I'm going, oh, you know, okay. It makes me feel very uncomfortable about whether I walk in and out of here at night. For the first time in the last 2 weeks, I've ordered my groceries. I've never done that before, but that's because I'm tired of getting approached when I go to the grocery store. You know, I don't bring my purse anymore. Put my wallet, my debit card, and my key in my inside pocket of my coat. So I don't have any of my other stuff if I wanted it or needed it. And then, you know, and today I posted a, what I felt was a really great video by the Vermont State Police Special Tasks Unit. And I mean, kudos to them for everything they do. They go into the most dangerous of situations, but they're looking to add people to their team. And some asshole posts this picture in the comments of Super Troopers. It's that kind of disrespect just drives me crazy. You know, we need our law enforcement. And I hope that we never get to a spot in the city where we even come close to dreaming of defunding them like they have in Burlington, because the chaos that's going on up there is nothing that I want here. Where it's at right now is bad enough, and I would hate to see it go beyond that. But to be that disrespectful, I deleted the comment because I just thought it was a really asshole thing to do. You know, that's your opinion. Put it on your own page. But don't be disrespectful to the men in blue, women in blue.
Although Roland does say
Yeah.
that Super Troopers was a funny movie. I've never seen
It was
that
a funny movie, but
I've actually never
I
seen
take I take the work of our local law enforcement, local and state law enforcement, much more serious than that, and I think they deserve a lot more respect than that. Yeah.
In fact, just as a side note, Farva, I didn't know, because Jason's my neighbor.
Right, and I call him Farva.
You call him Farva, but I didn't realize that actually came from Super Troopers.
Yeah.
And one day, I think it was scrolling through Facebook comments and, or not comments, but videos, and one of them was a video of that guy, and they said Farva, and I immediately messaged Trisha and Jason. They're like, yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was never one of those movies that I never really was interested in going to watch.
No.
It has the same appeal to me as Napoleon Dynamite.
I saw pieces of it because I think when my kids were teenagers, they watched it. That would have been about the time that it came out, and so yeah,
Yeah.
That's about when I watched it. But anyway, I just, and it's fine. It is. I just don't like that disrespect to them. Was really upsetting to me. And then, of course, we all know the recent discussion of the release of a notorious habitual offender, Harley Breer.
Yeah. So I don't really know anything about this, and you're going to explain it all now.
Well, there's not a lot to explain except for that he is, abused, kidnapped, raped women. Every time he gets let out, he repeats, does it again. Last time he cut his own ankle monitor off. He cut it off and went on escape. There was a massive manhunt. That's hours, time, money. He also assaulted somebody at that point. So, and that's how he's going to be monitored with an ankle monitor again. That, obviously now everybody knows he cut the first one off. Why wouldn't he cut this one off? And the worry is that he's going to be in Canaan, where they don't have their own police force, and there's not a lot out there. And who's actually going to be doing the monitoring? So the Department of Corrections, and I believe was under the direction of, is it Vince Aluzzi, who said, this is really concerning to me. And I believe it was the outcry of the community, but him as well, that said we should put a pause on this. And the Department of Correction has so far, just a week. There is an online petition to try to hold that even longer, to look at this further and, see what happens with keeping this man off the streets. But as much as I would like to say that the petitions and everything are going to work, I highly doubt it. And I just think that people, just like everything else, are going to need to be extremely vigilant and aware of what's happening, aware of their surroundings, and because I don't believe that they're going to be able to do a ton else when it comes to that. Other than, he was given a minimum and a maximum sentence. And so the fact has served his minimum sentence. So there's not a lot they can do to hold him on his maximum. So just more changes that need to be done. More things that need to get looked at that have been really out of control for a long time, as far as sentencing and bail reform and sentencing reform, and depending on what crimes. And I thought they did the habitual offender law years ago that would have given a mandatory life sentence, but apparently not. We have a guy that's right now in Burlington that's got like 300 pending cases against him. And he just, he keeps getting released after each new crime. So apparently that whole habitual offender thing needs to be looked at, because it's not really doing a whole lot of good.
I have to wonder, is it the laws, or is it the people that are prosecuting and the judges involved?
We definitely have a shitty attorney general. Plain and simple. It's and I say that, and I will say that when I say that, that's my opinion. I was very much 100% a Roy Tebow fan, and even I think that things may have been a lot different when it came to some of these cases that are being prosecuted right now. As an example, today we have in the newspaper and on the news a former worker at the Essex Junction Memory Care Facility who was caught stealing from patients while face no prison time. The Attorney General's office says Lilac Rain Brown Fisher, 29, an activities director at Maple Ridge Memory Care Facility, was sentenced Monday after taking a plea agreement, admitting to swiping valuable heirloom jewelry from patients and then pawning it. So she got no time whatsoever for stealing from not only vulnerable adults, but priceless items, things that absolutely cannot be replaced. She didn't just take money. They ordered her to pay restitution, but what is the restitution? If you have a ring or a locket or some form of jewelry that belonged to your mother, grandmother, father, whatever, and that's all you have left, who gives a shit about any restitution? So where does the punishment actually lie in any of that?
Is it
I
even
don't
a
understand.
misdemeanor? Well, no, she probably didn't even get a misdemeanor.
No, she didn't. So, her sentencing Monday on felony charges of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. The AG's office says 4 families told the court how the thefts had impacted them. My mother's ring is gone, and there's no getting it back. My heart is sick that I can't pass it down to her beloved granddaughter, one of the victims told the court. But she got a sentence to 5 years, suspended for a term of probation of up to 5 years. She must also pay restitution to the victim, may not care for a vulnerable adult, and must complete a restorative justice program.
So there's no way to get the ring back?
Well, if it was pawned,
Well, if it's pawned,
you got to be able to find it.
Right.
And did she pawn it? Was it pawned at a shop here in Vermont? Was it pawned
but there's
in?
pawn laws. I mean, the
Of course
laws
there is.
require
Depends on which state you're in.
valid point. In Vermont, there's pawn laws.
Yeah.
Where was this again?
Well, it happened in Vermont, but that doesn't mean she pawned it in Vermont.
No, but if it was on the border, it would make it more likely that she pawned it somewhere else.
You never know. I mean, we know that a lot of times the drug thefts of firearms in the state of Vermont and cars, and within a matter of hours, they are out of the state. They are pawned in pawn shops out of this state. Cars are sold out of the state. Maybe the guns never even make the market for all kinds of reasons. Maybe they didn't get sold to a pawn shop, it's just somebody else. Things don't necessarily hang right here. And so, and if she could get it back, I mean, it would be wonderful if it was able to be described and it got sold from, we have a great pawn shop here in Montpelier. Craig McDermott has it. And he is super diligent. And he has taken huge losses in his business to return items that he bought. In the case where Elva, and I'm spacing on Elva's last name, he works at the Credit Union Vermont State Police, but he and his mom, their home was robbed and a lot of valuable stuff was taken. And Craig knew that, and Craig would intentionally buy that stuff so he could return it. And he would be out, or the police might come to him and say, you have this stolen toolbox or these stolen tools or stolen guns, and he returns those things. And despite never getting his own money back. But that doesn't happen to every pawn shop. Not all of them are honest.
Right.
Well,
I know there are statutes for pawn shops and how they have to maintain records and
how they're
everything else.
supposed to.
Supposed to, correct. Hopefully she's able to get some of those, or hopefully some of that stuff is
Right,
retrievable.
from all of the people affected, hopefully. But my guess is not. I mean, the crime took place quite a while ago, and then, and so I posted the article on 802 Scoop, so then we have all the people coming out of the woodwork because I'm being angry about somebody that did this, me, of all people, the person who embezzled and whatever. So let me just say.
Did you feel bad about it? And
I
did
did.
you do?
I did. So I did embezzle. I stole from the company I work for. My sentence was 3 to 10 years, a felony charge. I have a felony record. I served 3 years in jail, 7 more years on probation. I paid my restitution. I have a felony record. I have never done anything to try to dissolve that record, though I've been, I've said many times, I've been asked by many people, just do it. It's been
I told you to do it too.
Yeah, it's been 23 years. Just do it. You've paid your debt. And I choose not to because I look at that as if I do that, then I am somehow minimizing what I did or that I want to hide from it. And that's not true. I've always been very upfront about it. And so that's why I post those sorts of things, because it still is disgusting. It is disgusting what this person did and is getting away with. And with a slap on the wrist, like it doesn't matter, because it does matter. It matters a lot.
And we talk about...
And not to minimize what I did, I took money. This woman took something irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And she took it from vulnerable adults in a nursing home, a nursing facility. And that's just disgusting.
Yeah. No.
So, yeah, I did post it. You're damn right I posted it. I hope the whole world knows about it and, has much to say about it. Just saying.
Right. See that the Honorable Philip Scott,
Yes.
his inauguration is next Saturday night. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. Tickets are $50, and it's up at the Barry Auditorium. So, are you familiar with the organization that it benefits? Because I wasn't sure what that was. Because it said proceeds will benefit those who have served and those that continue to serve. And I don't know if you know.
Say it again.
Proceeds will benefit those who have served and those that continue to serve.
Yeah, but what?
That's all it says.
Oh, hold on. It has to be like an organization of some sort, is what I'm saying.
Well, wait, hold up. All proceeds of the event will benefit those who have served and those that continue to serve
in our
armed. Okay.
Thank you.
Services. So that wasn't on the original invite. It wasn't on the original invite because I looked at it. I was talking to some.
Are you sure you just didn't forget to hit see more?
I got
read
the
the whole
original
thing?
invite in my email.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and it wasn't there.
Yep.
So that's good to know, though, because I was you're such a poop.
Well, I was just like, I was really having a hard time understanding what you didn't get about
That's
that.
because when I got the email, I didn't see that portion of it because that's a post that he did.
Maybe it's time to consider a checkup at Optical Expressions. Just saying.
Roland's biting me up here on my phone, asking about the haunting thing. What's going on?
Well, we would like to do something in the city. We need to find a building, the old hospital, the maybe City Hall. We need to find an old building that they'll allow us to be in after hours to use Rowan's doppelganger equipment shit.
Doppelganger equipment. All right.
Yeah, we want to go ghost busting
Ghostbusters.
in the city of Barry.
Ding, 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 ding. He wants to go to the Opera House. Roland, you're going to
we
have
could
to
do
work
that
it out
as well.
yourself.
We could do it.
And just so you know, Glenn couldn't find it either. Okay?
What?
Now, granted, the whole those that continue to serve, on his Facebook post, it's there, but on the email, I swear it wasn't there.
Well, I shared the post, so anybody that is looking for all of the information, it's right there on 802 Scoop.
It is.
Where I shared the
The
post.
802 Scoop. I should have just looked at the 802 Scoop instead of the email.
I know. And that's why I was so very confused at what you were saying, because I was looking at it and I'm going, wait a minute.
Barb just said, what about the Reynolds house?
Yeah, that too. That
I
too.
bet
And we have an
you
inn there.
We do have an inn
We have
there.
an inn at the inn.
We do have an inn at the end. I bet you we could get Jeffrey to
Let us do
Get-
such, and he
let
would
us do
probably
that.
get right involved.
He probably
He would probably participate.
He probably
even.
would.
So maybe, just maybe, the 802 Scoop will go ghost hunting with Roland. And Roland is going to do a podcast. Whether I know that he hasn't committed to it yet, but there's no way that he can not come in here and start doing a podcast at least once a month. I mean, come on. With all of the exploring and everything that he does, and he just needs to. The Winter Solstice High School Basketball 2025 at Barry Auditorium. The schedule has kicked off, or will kick off tomorrow, the 3rd, and that starts with Williamstown versus Twinfield. And then on the 4th, they are the Spalding versus Montpelier. And also on the 4th are the Peoples versus Hazen. So those are both boys and girls games. All of the times are put right on the page. Our dear friend Lori Shepard from Four Quarters shared all of that information with us. And my guess is probably she will be there, if not running the sidelines of the court, but actually broadcasting with Carl, because she does that too. Yeah, great lady. So check out those games that are happening this weekend. I went to my first game 2 years ago now, when Spalding was in the championship. I think, didn't you go as well? Were you there that night? I know Rosemary and Charlie went, but it was amazing. And that was the first time I had been to a basketball game since I was in high school. So a lot of years. It was really exciting. It was a lot of fun. And I need to go more often.
I don't go to basketball games.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the last one I went to, I think,
super
was
exciting.
I want to say it was the girls' basketball game for Websterville Baptist Church. Back in 2001.
I was hoarse. That I literally, I couldn't hardly talk that night or the next day from yelling and screaming and getting so excited. It was just so much fun, and I hadn't realized that they were that much fun. Like I did, obviously, when I was in high school. I really liked to go, but it had just been so long, and it was a great time. And and again, 10 a.m. at Wilkins is the brunch and self-defense seminar. That's happening this Saturday, 10 a.m. at Wilkins. I think that that's going to be a really hugely attended event, is my guess, because of everything that we talked about and people feeling so uneasy. Let's see, also around here, Turning Point, the Turning Point of Central Vermont, that schedule has come out, and check that out, all of the different meetings that you can attend all month long over at the Turning Point Center, right on Air Street in Barrie, right over by Spalding. If you haven't been into that place, you really should check it out. It's a really cool place. We have an attempted abduction in Bradford. A young woman was on January 1st in the parking lot at the intersection of Lower Plain and Waits River Road in Bradford. The woman told officers the man, whom she did not recognize, grabbed her from behind as she walked through the gravel lot. According to news release from Bradford Police Department, the woman described the incident as either an attempted abduction or attempted assault, or both. The woman defended herself by hitting the man in the face, according to police. Her blows may have caused cuts, investigators say. According to police, the unknown attacker was described as a black man between 5'9" and 6 feet tall, who was last seen wearing a green sweatshirt. He was driving an older model gray or silver pickup truck with significant damage to the large section of the driver's side of the truck. Bradford police encourage anybody with information or someone who may have witnessed any suspicious behavior or may have recognized the person being described to please contact the Bradford State Police Department at 802-222-4727. Yeah.
It's messed up.
It is messed up. Just like we're talking, super scary stuff. The parking ban has been extended. So just so everyone knows and is well aware, that is still going on. It goes from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. So that has been extended. Continues on, well, not tonight, but in the early tomorrow morning, beginning at 1 a.m. And it goes through until 6 a.m. And parking is available at the BOR during the ban. You can visit the Berry City website for more information, and that is, of course, berrycity.org. Check that out, and you can also find all of that on their Facebook page. Let's see what else. We know it's going to be cold, which none of us are really liking. It's all that much. Berry City Police Department was hard at work. This weekend they did a pretty significant drug seizure here in the city. Yeah. And I'm gonna pull that up right now. And
it was crack cocaine.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Heroin.
I'm going to tell you right now. So on December 31st at approximately 6 a.m., Berry City officers with assistance from Washington County Sheriff's Department executed a search warrant at the unit block of Highgate Drive, stemming from a traffic stop on December 17th. In total, the following was seized during both incidences: 30 bags of heroin, fentanyl, 11.41 grams of crack cocaine, 12 Suboxone strips, approximately $800 in cash, a .22 caliber rifle. As a result of both incidences, 31-year-old Molly Cronin of Berry was taken into custody and arraigned in Washington Superior Court the same day to answer to the charges of possessions of cocaine, fentanyl trafficking, use of a firearm while selling and dispensing drugs, and possession of a regulated drug. Yeah.
Nice. Just really, what's really awesome about that is that that's up in Highgate, which is low-income housing.
Subsidized housing.
Subsidized housing, but more importantly, children are up there.
Exactly.
So while she's like dealing crack cocaine out of her house, children are walking around.
She probably has kids of her own that are living right in that shit. I've seen it. I've told you before that, I've been places where I've had to drag not only my own kid, but other people's kids, because that's what happens. I go and drag kids out of these places, and there's little kids in there and around all of this. It's disgusting. And just like the hotel program, if you get caught, you're out of that freaking hotel. The state can no longer sponsor drug houses, and that's what these are. They're state-sponsored drug houses.
I would agree. It's hard. I submitted a request.
We're literally paying for crack shacks. The state of Vermont is.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fine with that. People are fine with that because it starts with a roof over your head. It can end with that too. It can end with a roof over your head too. because either you behave yourself or you don't have a roof over your head.
I'm just gonna say if you're dealing drugs, you don't deserve subsidized housing.
No,
Period.
and period, because there
Actually,
are a
I
lot
think
of
you should
people.
be drug
You know
tested to
what?
be in subsidized housing, but that's okay.
That she's living in a subsidized house. What I can tell, I know of a family right now that lives in the hotel, that is living in the hotel because they were flooded out of their home, and they're on a fucking wait list. Take them off the wait list and give them her apartment. That's
Yeah.
what needs to happen. Why do we have people that deserve this housing on a wait list? It's disgusting. Why do we have people living in the Barry Manor, elderly people that worked their whole lives, that chose to retire, downsize, sell their big homes so that families could have a home in this city? Why do they have to live there in fear? Because they have drug dealers living amongst them.
The Barry House,
Still state sponsored. No matter how
Right.
you look at it, it's state sponsored.
yeah.
If you get caught selling drugs, you're gone.
Listen, if you're,
You have to,
my opinion, you get caught selling drugs, you should be going to jail immediately, and there's a minimum sentence. Period. You know, that's
yeah.
my
And in
my
order to
personal opinion.
receive services, you need to.
So John Anderson
test.
makes a comment here. Department of Housing and Urban Development pays for it. The state doesn't pay for it. I removed the
It's
last
still
term.
government sponsored.
But yes,
then it's
It
government,
is government sponsored, but
drug
the issue
houses.
the issue is whether or not the state can regulate the drug house problem. What needs to happen is it needs to be like a no default eviction process, where if you do
Exactly.
drugs,
You're gone.
evicted, you're
Yeah,
gone.
You're gone. Period.
That's the way it should
It's
be.
still government sponsored crack houses,
Yeah.
no matter how you look at it. State, federal. Some of the money does come from the state. It's not all federal money, and that's just the way it goes. There are plenty of people on that wait list that deserve that housing,
Yep.
and they need that hope. There are single moms that work really hard, working mom and dads that need that hope. They just need that extra boost in life, and they should be the ones getting it. They shouldn't be crammed into a one-room hotel room.
Nope, you're right.
And if you get services, you should have to maintain a drug-free life.
I agree.
Many people have to take drug tests for work. If you can't work in many places if you are using drugs, but you can get all the free money in the world and use all the drugs in the world that you want.
Let's put this out there to folks. Let's put this out there. Do you think, and drop it in the comments, that we should be drug testing people that get subsidies from the state of
Any
Vermont?
subsidies,
Any subsidies.
right across the board, any subsidy.
Just curious what people think.
Yeah.
And if you disagree, tell us why. I would love to know why. I mean, I personally believe that if you're getting subsidies, I personally believe you shouldn't be doing drugs at all, right? I mean, people know where I
But
stand
if you're
on this.
getting subsidy, you definitely should not be.
I agree. We need to talk about something that's less aggressive.
Well, this is where we're at. Unfortunately, it is aggressive, but unfortunately, this is where we're at. And so we want a new year with new things, right? And the only way we're going to get new things out of this new year is if we all decide that we're going to do something about it, because we're no longer going to tolerate this stuff. Otherwise, we might as well just play Groundhog Day. Really.
It would be,
It is aggressive, but don't you feel like it's time to be? Like we've been sitting around holding hands long enough?
Yeah.
And biting our tongues and, worrying about people's feelings. I'm more worried about people's safety than I am their feelings. Just gotta say. Yeah.
All right, let's.
But if you will, did you see that the state of Vermont is going to start going around sampling raw milk at different farms? So they're doing this. So officials will be testing raw
like
milk
that.
from all Grade A milk producing farms in Vermont each month in effort to detect an infection early. So the bird flu basically is what they're looking for. They want to prevent the spread of bird flu. So like they would be testing my son's milk. So does that mean you can drink it freely, Michael?
I'm just going to say
Without
that
worry?
I want raw milk, and I think I should be able to have raw milk.
Yeah. And if you get the bird flu, then that's on you because you chose to drink the raw milk.
Choices, yeah.
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 All right. Just
I-
making
if I
sure.
get- yeah. Well, I would expect that the person that's selling me the raw milk would have good quality cows.
Yeah. Well, you can have good quality cows that can get sick with this disease, though, this bird flu.
But you know what? Things happen. That's okay, Glenn. It's that cream. It tastes completely different. It's amazing. Trust me.
So I've never tried it myself.
Oh, it's good. It's great. It's
But I
amazing.
know, I mean, that's what my son, obviously, that's what he does. He lives on the farm. He certainly doesn't go out and buy milk. He, like, literally grabs it right from the bulk tank.
Yeah. I got to go up there, and I guess I just
and-
need to go over. How far away is he? An hour?
Oh, not even. No, not even. And if you go with me, it'll take us 30 minutes. Normal time, like 45, 50, but we can cruise right over there.
Well, with me driving, it could even take even shorter.
Yeah, you never know. That's right, because you drive like crazy too.
Yeah.
So,
Tuesday night, trivia night at the Reynolds house.
yes,
On
those
the
are back.
14th.
Those are
Yep.
back. Yes. Wellness Wednesday is back.
Nice.
At 23 Summer Street. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be actually doing a couple of interviews with Washington County Mental Health. They are a new sponsor of the 802 Scoop. So we're going to be doing some interviews with them and talking about a program that they do over it's not a Washington County Mental Health program, but they let them use the space, the Phoenix program uses space over at 23 Summer Street. But Washington County Mental Health will also be in here talking to us about several things that they've got going on too with their combined efforts with Treatment Associates in Montpelier and stuff now as well. We also welcome Nelson Ace Hardware as a sponsor of
congratulations.
802 Scoop. And Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash in South Barry. So we welcome them as well. And Campi Divino and Taste Vermont.
Oh,
So super to have them as well. Yeah,
that's
so
where Tim
uh,
works there, right? Does Tim work there?
no.
Where does
Tim works at La Ponchiata.
I thought he worked at the other place. Oh, never mind.
I thought he was at La Ponchiata in Waitsfield, the bread place. You're talking about Tim that used to own Delicate Decadence?
Yeah, I thought he. Maybe. Okay, never mind. Some reason I thought he worked there, but
Well,
okay.
unless he's switched since he left the bakery. Stacy's tuned in. Maybe she'll tell
She'll
you.
tell us.
But yeah, if he worked there, that's the first I've known of that.
Okay, my bad.
But anyway, so lots of great things happening. As we told everybody, we want to start doing some stuff that is with people coming in. We want to do some stuff with live audience. So we need to have suggestions from you all. So what are some things that you would love to have an open discussion with here in the studio with some members of your community. So, and not all, it doesn't all have to be serious. It can be like, we can invite Roland and some of his friends and talk about Bigfoot.
You should see you should see the messages I'm getting from him right
Yeah,
now.
well-
You may want to change your mind.
No, it would be okay. But it doesn't have to be all
You
serious.
should see the message.
It doesn't
You
have
may
to
not
be-
think that.
Listen, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to be serious. Let's talk about some fun things we can do. Maybe we could do some sort of live trivia night thing ourselves.
Ooh, that's a good
Where
idea.
we are doing things all city related, almost like a trivia of Berry City, and we could invite. I would like to see it kind of be like almost like a Jeopardy thing, where we had contestants, and like maybe every 6 months have like do like Jeopardy did have a big show where we play against the winners of and give out some prizes. So that is one of the ideas that I have that I would like it to be, and maybe not even necessarily Barrie, but Vermont. We can do Barrie for a little while, then we can do Vermont. But if we can, I would like to do that. I would like to maybe do more things like that, as well as the different podcasts that we have. And we know that we have some of the local churches that want to do podcasts. We want to do some stuff called Faithful Friday. You'll still have to deal with Michael and I doing this on Thursday nights, the weekly wrap, as well as we'll have the Barrie Beat. We'll have It's No Secret, 4 quarters, and Vermont Daily Chronicle at 4, Fridays at 4 with Vermont Daily Chronicle. So just those are some things that I'm throwing out there that that you definitely will see in 2025. And if you are someone new in business, if you are a small business, reach out to me, because when it comes to advertising and advertising for people, I wanted this to be something that everybody can do. I want it to be something everybody can afford. And so I've kind of set it up that way, and I've heard great things so far. But we all got to stick together, right? Or none of us are going to make it. So it has to be something that we can all do. We can, and maybe that means that we really go back to old times where we barter a little bit, and I can get a bouquet of flowers a month at Emsley's if I do this for them, or maybe Taste Vermont can whip us up a platter to have here on one of our Jeopardy nights or something. But to be able to do those things for people in our community is a big deal to me, because we're all just starting out, and this is hard. It's hard to get into business. Vermont is not very business friendly. It's expensive. It's just the payroll tax alone, and then never mind the property taxes and the rent and the utilities and the this and the that, and on and on and on. It's a lot. And so when you have to think about promoting your business, that can seem really scary. And you have to decide, can I really afford that, or am I going to just try my hardest and hope it works? And so I want to give that opportunity to as many people as I possibly can. So reach out. Just don't think that it's not possible. Don't think that you can't do something to promote yourself, because I promise you can. Yeah. Why do you have a shit-eating grin? Is somebody being an asshole?
No, he's not being. He's being himself, Roland.
Oh, it's just Roland. Okay.
He says, Raylene, I can't go on with my friends. Nobody likes me.
That's not true. That's not true.
And we do not have Jeopardy nights yet. But let me just tell you.
Oh, we are going to.
We are going to have Jeopardy nights.
Jeopardy
I love
nights
that
is
idea.
going to be something that we do, for sure. That is going to be. We're going to work it out. We need to figure out who's going to host that, and I want that to be kind of like part of the whole thing. So my hope is that we will start Jeopardy in March. And in the next couple of weeks, you and I are going to have to work out some more details. But what I want to have happen is I want to kind of like almost like interview the candidates to be the, what is the guy? The
Alex
Jeopardy
Trebek.
guy. Alex, so we're going to figure out who that guy is going to be first, or gal. We're going to figure out who that's going to be. And I kind of would I want it to be somebody that is, one, really knows their shit a little bit about some things around here. But I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be all just so serious. Like, there are some things that have happened around here that are probably history, but they're funny history. So I want it to be that too. So we can make that part of the process where maybe our viewers can select who this person is going to be. And then we'll start with we'll have people write in and say if they want to be a contestant, and we'll go from there.
Interesting.
So looking forward to that, and looking forward to more people coming on and being a part of this community and this studio. This equipment is here, and it can help any of us provide a really good service to our community. And everybody has something to share. And whether it is, I don't care if only 50 people want to hear what you have to share. That's 50 people that want to hear what you have to share. Maybe 1,000 people watch what you have to, but everybody has something important to share. And so come in here. If I know Jeffrey wants to do Legos. Jeffrey, if you want to set up Legos on this table right here in front of me and build kits, Lego kits, with all kinds of other people that want to build Legos, and you're teching out this Lego kit together and you want to do that in podcast form, come in and do it. If you want to play Dungeons and Dragons this way, if you want to, whatever it is, if you have something that you have to share, a talent, a story, whatever, reach out.
Nice.
Yeah. Become part of the Inside Scoop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to play Dungeons and Dragons online. That would be fun.
Well, figure it out then, Michael.
Need to find myself a bunch of people to do it.
Yeah.
But, all right.
So that's where we're at with all of that. So there's not a lot of events going on this weekend, and I think some of that is because didn't we just have enough of a whole lot going on between Christmas and New Year's and everything else?
We did have a lot going on.
So
We did.
oh my gosh. This is the calm.
It is.
Yeah.
Christmas is for kids is over with. So
No, it'll
and
never
yes,
be over
Barb,
with.
you did hear Leah's caller.
Yeah. And Christmas for kids, it will never be over with.
Correct.
Christmas for kids has been put away for another year.
And hopefully it remains Christmas for kids.
It will.
I will
Always
say
in our
I'm
heart.
going to promote Monday night show because, folks, you should absolutely tune in on Monday night for Barry
please,
Beats.
Please
Because,
tune in.
not going to lie, probably going to talk about the coup d'etat that happened at City Council on Tuesday.
Yeah, and a few other things.
The attempted coup d'etat.
That was one hell of a meeting.
Yes, it
And
was.
all I got to say about that is, thank God we have one hell of a mayor.
Yeah, it will be at the meeting. Unfortunately, Glenn, I'm really sorry to do this to you, and I'm just thrusting this upon Raylene right now to let her know that it will be 8:00 for Barry Beat
On Monday?
on Monday.
Because Michael has
because
a previous engagement.
I do have a previous engagement. I know, Glenn. I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry,
I'll
Glenn.
bring you a Red Bull, honey.
Yes, we'll drop off a Red Bull,
Yeah. Maybe a Mountain Dew?
maybe.
Yeah.
All
And a
right.
Snickers. Okay? Yeah.
And Mariah, just so you know, you can come on and you don't have to worry. You'll be coming back on if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. Mariah can come and share her opinions with me any day anytime.
There you go.
I don't care what it is. And that lady, I'll stand right behind, beside, in front of, whatever I got to do. Yeah. Claws
All
in or
right.
out. But before we go, I do want to apologize to everyone that we have not been on in over a week with the hustle and bustle of Christmas, and with my grandmother was very ill, and I took the time to spend with her and to help care for her during her last days. And she did pass the day after Christmas on December 26th. And while it was super heartbreaking for me, my gram lived a good life. The first part of her life was, not so great. It was poverty stricken, a lot of abuse, but my gram had this like fierceness about her, and she broke free from all of that, and she was probably one of the strongest, most amazing women ever in my life. And she spent the last 50 years doing exactly what she wanted. She danced. She loved a ballroom dance. She danced. She traveled the world. She found the love of her life. She lived a really good life, and she died at her son's home and my uncle's, and she died very peacefully. And I like to think that just like the last 50 years of her life, it was all done on her terms. And if all of us could only go that way, right? On our own terms. But so that is the reason for our absence. And I appreciate all of your patience and your support through all of that.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching the weekly wrap, and we'll see you on Monday. Don't forget, tomorrow the guys are going to be here
4
for
o'clock.
Vermont Daily Chronicle, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And with that, hope you have a lovely evening.